and welcome to Inner Circle Guidance. Today we're going to be doing a collective reading, but for those of you who are new to the circle, hello and welcome. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. I post new videos every single day, and if you're looking for daily short tarot readings, check out my Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, or YouTube Shorts. If you're looking for personal services or personal readings, I offer them through my website, innercircleguidance.com. All right. So a lot of you have been very impatient over the last couple of weeks, but really impatient the last few days. And I don't know if that's because of the Pisces energy that we're going through that's bringing things that are below the surface to the surface, but a lot of impatience, a lot of comments on my different channels and different social media platforms about having struggles with manifesting things. And so I'm gonna let the cards lead today on exactly what we're gonna talk about. In terms of, I wanna give you guys some guidance on that situation, but I wanna do it in a way that works for the collective and doesn't get too personal with anybody. So let's see what guidance the cards can give today on the topic of manifestation. Because it seems like that's the topic that a lot of you are wanting to discuss. Okay. Wow, we're starting off right away with death today. Okay. Heavy energies. Transformations, huge changes, spiritual awakenings, dark night of the souls. We have the Knight of Swords. We have the Nine of Cups. We have the Ten of Wands. And the Nine of Wands. On the bottom of the deck, we have the Lovers. Choices, and I did see the 1111 card. I'm going to take it as well. All right, this is a trigger warning for those of you who are sensitive and possibly going to get upset by the thing I'm going to say next, but my job here is to help guide you, right? It's not to tell you what you want to hear. The thing that is getting in the way of your manifestations is you, okay? You're getting in your own way. Now, that's going to look different to different groups of you, but largely it has to do with refusing to recognize some sort of truth and being, I don't want to say ungrateful for what you have, because we've been talking about how wanting more is not selfish, but it's more of you comparing your own journey to other people's, which is putting you in an ungrateful mindset and a lacking mindset where you are in this more desperate sort of energy and you're in this chasing sort of energy, which is all negative, is all a lacking mindset. And it's putting these burdens and these obstacles in your way that honestly don't need to be there. And I'm seeing with this Nine of Wands that you're hopeful for the future, but it's like you also, it's almost like you don't believe it's gonna come, or you're not sure how it's gonna come, and that's holding you up. And what that's doing is it's actually enclosing your mind, and it's making it so that your manifestations can only come in very specific ways that maybe you're gonna take longer to set up for the universe for that to even work, because some of you, your manifestations are things that involve a lot of people's destinies, a lot of people's choices, and a lot of people in general. And this really comes down to the choices you're making about your path. The choices you're making in regards to what you feel you do or do not deserve, and the choices that you make in terms of how you're going about your manifestations. Now, for those of you who are not struggling with this, click off of this video. This reading is not for you. I'm just going to tell you right now so you don't waste your time. This reading's not for you. If you're not struggling with this, there's no point in probably watching this. I doubt you're going to get any additional messages because this is extremely channeled to this specific problem. So you need to transform your energy and you need to get out of this mindset. When you hyperfixate on the outcome instead of the journey, and you hyperfixate on making the goal your identity, it ends up messing everything up, because what you need to understand is you can lie to yourself all you want, but you can't lie to the universe. The universe knows and spirit knows the truth about how you really feel about things. So if you are trying to manifest something, say like fame, and you only want it for the money or the glory of being famous, you don't want it for any kind of like authentic reason to your soul, universe is gonna go, yeah, I know you're saying you want this, but that's not really what's gonna make you happy. And so what's gonna happen is universe is gonna send you a bunch of resistance to try to show you a better way. But if you're so like stubborn and almost like a I know better than you type of attitude, you're just gonna keep hitting these roadblocks after roadblocks, and it's not gonna benefit you because your why for what you're trying to manifest is not strong enough. And so what happens is it puts your own energy into this kind of argumentative state, because your higher self and your authentic self is going, yeah, this isn't really gonna make me happy, I don't really want this. And the other side of you, which is likely greed or things like that that are more negative, if that's your why, then you're going to be in a constant state of internal battle and a constant dark night of the soul, because you're going to be constantly fighting and battling your own self, and all your energy is going to go to battling your own self instead of actually manifesting the things that you want. Now, I know most of you aren't trying to be famous. That's not what you're trying to do. That's just an example. But the point is, being famous is a really good example to use, because it's an example of something that's big, first off. And it's something that would require a lot of other people to line up properly with. And it's something that you would have to want for the right reasons. And so that's why I use that as an example, because it's kind of the same thing as when you think about manifesting, it's almost like you're putting in your order for a restaurant, right? So if you go to, say, a Michelin star chef and you ask him for the chef special that takes him a team of 30 people in 3 days to prepare, that's going to take more preparation time, and you're going to be ordering that and waiting, and also probably the amount of time it even takes just to get there. You know, he may have a busy schedule. It's going to take time, right? Whereas if you go through the drive-thru at McDonald's and you ask for French fries, that's going to be pretty immediate. So something like fame, or something like your soulmate, or something that's a large ticket item that takes preparation time, it's going to take more time to prepare. And your job is to get ready for when the thing comes in divine timing that you're trying to manifest. And that means taking accountability for what you can do to achieve those goals and releasing anything that is completely out of your control. But sometimes what happens is we get so up in our own head, we get so stuck in our own logic and our own, this is how it has to be, or this is how it's going to go, that we forget to be open-minded, and we forget that there's certain things that maybe are in our control that we don't realize, such as our mindset. If you're in a waiting energy and you're in a lacking mindset, you can change that anytime you want. You just may not want to because you're wanting to focus on the negative. Let's just get a couple more cards. I'm going to take 3 more cards, just final guidance on the situation here. I just saw the Emperor, so learning how to detach in the proper ways may be something that is a struggle for you all. You might get so attached to the outcome or what the outcome looks like. You have to remember that sometimes the things we ask for, Spirit has something even better in mind. It's a perfect example for when you end up dating that toxic ex who you fall for hardcore, and they leave you heartbroken, and you say, universe, I want this person back in my life. I want this person back in my life because you're heartbroken. Then a couple months go by and you go, oh God, thank God this person's out of my life. I don't want this person back. It's the same type of thing. The universe sometimes doesn't give you things so that you can realize that you actually deserve better. Let's just get 3 more cards here. Okay, these are sticking out. And it's exactly 3 cards. We have the Hermit, we have the Page of Wands, and we have the Chariot. All right, so Hermit energy has to do with Virgo energy. And Virgos have a tendency to be able to analyze things in a very logical way that keeps emotions somewhat out of the grand scheme of things, but in a healthy way. Now, in its negative connotation, the Hermit and Virgo energy can talk about being self-deprecating or negative to oneself or having a negative image of oneself. For those of you who are struggling with your manifestations, and you're over here going, oh, something must be wrong, or I'm doing something wrong, or universe doesn't like me, or whatever your mindset is, you're being asked to go inwardly at this time, and you need to rebalance your energy and get grounded again. You need to get out of that self-deprecation and start using your problem-solving skills to actually benefit yourself instead of sitting in self-loathing or in victim mode. And you need to choose to be the main character and make decisions for yourself that are going to move your story forward. And in writing, we talk about active main characters, and that's considered to be the best characters in literature. Active main characters are main characters who make decisions in the story that move the story forward versus letting things happen in the story to them that moves the story forward. So an example of that would be a character who gets arrested and goes to jail because something got messed up versus them turning themselves in because of whatever and making the decision to turn themselves in. It moves the story forward, but in 2 different ways. You need to make sure that you're not in that inactive status and make sure that you haven't gone inactive by accident due to your frustrations or your impatience with your manifestations. Which brings us to the Page of Wands energy, which is very much a planning type of energy. The Page of Wands is a card that is all about planning for the future. It's about looking at the grand scheme of things, looking at things where it's like you see the castle from the mountaintops and you're planning exactly what roads to take to get to the castle type of energy. And sometimes you'll come to find that it's something as simple as you just are approaching whatever your manifestation is from the wrong direction or the wrong way. And you need to tweak something or take a different path. And sometimes taking the longer path may take longer time-wise, but you end up learning more from it that allows you to be more sustainable. So for example, I'm going to use the fame thing again. People don't understand, I grew up with famous people my entire life. People don't understand that to become famous is actually the easier part. To maintain your fame is totally different. The amount of work that goes into maintaining your fame is 10 times harder than going viral. So that being said, you have to learn how to continuously be relevant and continuously do something new and continuously grow and evolve. People who are actors are often specialists in their field to where they master multiple talents. They sing, they dance, they act, they speak different languages, whatever. They do martial arts, they do their own stunts. Whatever your manifestation is, if it's something large scale like that, you have to take the accountability to learn those different skills. So whatever that looks like for you. Now with the Chariot, we're talking about a balance of energy between light and dark, happiness, joy, anger, sadness, all those different duality energies, masculine and feminine energies, receiving and giving, balancing those out. But the Chariot is also about making moves. Sometimes this is a literal move, as in you move locations or move houses or move jobs. Sometimes this is an emotional or mindset shift. But you're only going to know what actions you need to take to move forward by doing the work to start off with to see where the energy is stuck. Where have maybe you not taken the accountability you should be taking? Because maybe it puts you out of your comfort zone, or maybe you're afraid of failure, so you want to pretend like you can't do something because you don't want to end up failing in it. Whatever it is, figure out what your obstacle is and find your resilience in the obstacles by finding the path or the journey in those obstacles that you wouldn't have seen without them there. and turn those obstacles into opportunities to better yourself and to manifest what you desire that you wouldn't have seen before. And this card is driving me nuts because it's half sticking out. So I'm going to pull it. The Hierophant. The Hierophant is Taurus energy. The Hierophant can be very stubborn, can be very like, once they make a decision, that's that. The Hierophant also has to do with parental figures, also has to do with family and traditions, sometimes can mean a husband or a lover. But most of all, it's about long-term things. So you may be being influenced by things like your family, your parents, your traditions, those things. Or it could mean that what you're trying to achieve is something that's going to be of long-term stability, which means that you're going for the marathon, not the race here. And so overall, you need to be a little bit more patient and understanding when it comes to your manifestations. And if you really feel like something's off with the energy, you need to go inward and figure out what that is and get into that problem-solving mode. Virgos are some of the best problem solvers because they can look at things from a very, what's the word? Like when you're not swayed by like either side. Oh my gosh, this is gonna drive me nuts. I guess neutral is that's not the word I was looking for, but Virgos are able to look at things from a neutral standpoint because they can look at things in a way that their emotions or their preconceived thoughts or whatever don't get in the way of the perspective as much because they're able to shut that part off and look at things from a perspective of being more neutral. And so that might be where you need to start. Get into that neutral mindset where you're just looking at facts and looking at, okay, maybe if I'm trying to be famous, for example, and I want to be an actor, maybe I need to take dance lessons. How many auditions did I go to last year that they asked me to dance and I said, oh, I can't, sorry. Maybe I should take dance lessons. You get what I'm saying? So start using your problem-solving skills to figure out where exactly the energy is off, what maybe you're doing that you could do better, or that you're not doing that you need to be doing, or that you need to be doing differently, or that you need to stop doing. And then start implementing those skills. Get into a different mindset where you're not impatient, you're not desperate, and you're in a more relaxed flow state so that everything can flow and things can come and go as they need to go, so that you can be like water and flow with the river, go around the rocks, versus hitting the rock and not knowing what to do and getting stuck. So this is your reading. If it resonates with you, don't forget to like this video. Your affirmation for this reading is, I am gaining clarity on where my manifestations need some work. And I am implementing more positive actions and habits and mindsets to achieve my manifestations. And as always, may your life be full of light, full of love, abundance, and gratitude. I'll see you next time.